if you really think about it, now if the Rajasthan team has Sangakkara and Dravid and Ashwin, that's practically a quiz team. You know, they can go take part in Sarang. Okay, the three of them. Probably win
You're
something
also
also.
Sanju Samson ignored.
No, I'm talking about the three people. Imagine the discussions. They're English. They'll do crosswords together. They can take part in the quiz. Okay, it's a lit team, dude. This is a lit team. Come on. Okay.
I agree.
Can you think of three better people in a lit team?
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Hello and welcome to episode 139 of Bits and Pieces. After 138 consecutive weeks, last week for the first time, we did not put out an episode. Our loyal listeners reached out to us, anxious for our well-being, wondering what happened to us. I'm happy to announce, on behalf of the gang, we are completely fine. And the lack of an episode last week was us paying our respects to Pakistan cricket, whose ashes have been buried in the dust of Rawalpindi. Rest in peace, Pakistan cricket. I am Nitin Sundar and I am joined today by Nutgrapher-in-Chief Praveen Gopalkrishnan, whose award-winning paid newsletter In the Ken is world famous. In the latest edition of the Nutgraph, PGK makes a compelling argument that the PM function is dead and asks the readers what they need to do to bring the PM function back to life. This PM function is not product management, it is Pakistan team management. Hi PGK, what's up? How do you do?
I love it. I love the plug. Thank you. I only take exception with award winning because nobody has given me an award yet.
Hey, we gave you that. What you're saying?
Oh, the Bits and Pieces Top Podcaster Voice Award. I like it. Sure. I actually didn't want to come today but then Bangladesh won first test. I said fine. Second test, they're like, now I'm like, really didn't want to come. But I thought, okay, somebody has to come and temper this because that seems to be my job in all these podcasts where people come to talk nonsense and I have to come and set the truth among all of you.
Hey, Nitin, he got riled up after you said that ashes thing in the middle. I knew. He's like, this Bangladesh and Ash, these guys are going to beat me. First word he says it.
I didn't want to come today. That's what she said, says PGK. But moving on, also with us today, dialing in from the wonderful city of Berlin, which he now calls home, you already heard his voice. It's the one and only Murali Sadagopan, also known as Musa, also known as Kasa Musa. Hello, Murali. How are you doing?
It's beautiful, that Freudian slip. He called homes because all this while I couldn't call either of the homes a home. I was between two countries. And then I was like, trying to make subtle jabs here, the rascal. But
elementary, Murali, elementary.
Yeah, exactly.
Just Nitin things. But yeah.
I have a question. How is the Germany cricket team? Like, I don't even know if you know it, but I'm like, if you had to imagine a German cricket team, what would it be like?
So it's easy to think of the first six names, right? It was mostly Shadman Zakir, Abdullah Niwash, and then suddenly in the middle, Rajagopal and Srinivasan Chandru. And then again, three Bangladeshi Pakistani names. Then out of nowhere, with Sandeep Singh. It's like, what does Sandeep Singh do? He's a pace bowler. There is like, these are like these things you just definitely know. And that one guy in the middle, that Tamil guy, he's an off spinner.
Yes, indeed.
So Murali, there's no palate cleanser where suddenly you'll have a Kloss or a Hindman or something just to kind of mix it up and like, oh, you didn't see that coming.
The odd South African and the odd New Zealander comes in, but even those guys are people who generally don't want to play for the national team because there's more politics there than cricket. A lot of subcontinent folks play. But I have still seen there is a good number of players from Ireland, a good number of players from even England who are playing in those clubs, in the national team.
We teased this podcast saying we'll talk about the death of Pakistan cricket and we've gone deep into German cricket. Maybe this is the future of Pakistan cricket. Who knows? Maybe this is where it's all going.
At this point, we don't even know if Pakistan can beat Germany in a test match.
My goodness.
Might as well discuss German cricket as well.
Okay, before we get into German cricket in its glorious detail, bringing up the fourth leg of this four-person panel today is our resident quizmaster and awesome guy dialing in from Australia, Adi Subramani. How are you doing?
Thank you. And today I'm the Pindi pitch curator, so I shall dock you 10 points from the WTC championship for not calling me by my right name. But nice to be on the pod, Nitin and all. Nice to be on a Sunday evening.
I see Adi, I feel like greater kinship, like with every passing minute. Number one, he's wearing a black Iron Maiden t-shirt and I see that and I'm like, amazing. Bangalore, I can see it. And in the background, if you can see, he has actually like framed some newspaper clippings without zooming in. Okay, I can just
Yes.
look at it and say this is definitely BJT and the whole
Which
Gaba,
BJT?
Levin and yes, of
Gaba,
course.
yes.
Okay.
Spot on.
So
That middle pitcher. So that's basically, I'm probably the only guy who decided to take the newspaper clippings in Australia, given that no one else will be doing it in this country. And I decided to frame
Hello.
it. I had a placeholder for the South Africa series, thinking they'll do it and bring it home, but
What you
there's a big hole in the wall there.
2 series of South Africa that backfired, so you need to have 2 holes in your roll.
The first one anyway, I didn't have hope because that was a 3-test series. I said, fine, it won't happen. It was more the second, the one which was in 20.
you can replace that hole with a mic, with a speaker or something, and you can play that Kohli on loop what he's screaming in the stumps. Okay, reminder.
Because Rahul Dravid was a coach, it's literally a hole in the wall actually.
Chink in the armor. Okay, let's get started, guys, with Pakistan, of course. Nothing happens in Pakistan without a lot of drama. So quickly, this is what happened in that second test. Having lost the first test, they prepared a pitch that was going to aid the fast bowlers. And they promptly prepared for this test match by dropping their 2 best fast bowlers. So Shaheen and Naseem were made to sit out, and they brought in some new fast bowlers. And that new pace attack, Kurram Shahzad and Mir Hamza, managed to restrict Bangladesh to 26 for 6. There is only one team that loses test matches from that position, and that is India, who have lost twice to Pakistan, incidentally, in Kolkata and in Karachi from that situation. But this time it was Pakistan who managed to lose from there. They got lashed up by Litton, they got swamped by Shakib and manhandled by Mehdi, and lost the second test by 4 wickets. So it is 2-0. So take it away, guys. What's happening with Pakistan?
So I'll start with the quiz question. So I'll give you a list. So tell me who's the missing name, or if you can't give me the missing name, I'll give you the missing name and tell me what this list is. So you have Mehdi Hassan Miraj on the number 1. Number 3 is Chris Wokes. 4th is Joshua Da Silva, the wicketkeeper from West Indies. And number 5 is Keshav Maharaj. So who's number 2 on that list, and what's the list I'm talking about?
The list is fast bowlers who are forced to bowl spin because of bad light. That is obviously the list. Because you said there is Wokes on it. So Wokes was doing that yesterday. So literally, this is what he was doing yesterday in the previous test.
Yeah.
So
Except everyone else was a spinner, though, because you had...
and Joshua Da Silva is a keeper.
Right. So, repeat the list. Joshua Da Silva, Chris Wokes.
So, Mehdi Miraj, number 1. Number 2 is the blank. Number 3 is Chris Wokes. Number 4 is Joshua Da Silva. Number 5 is Keshav Maharaj. And this is over the last 5 years.
They're all number 7, number 8 batters, right? So clearly it is some collapse kind of situation, rescue situation. 6, 7, 8. They typically batter on that area, no?
Most runs scored with the lower order of 7, 8, 9, 10 in terms of
You're
partnerships.
almost there. Most runs at number 8 in the last 5 years. So who's number 2?
Okay.
So who's number 2?
Ravichandran, Ashwin, who else?
Yes. So hence I thought PGK will just lap it up.
I don't know any lists where Ashwin is number 2. I don't mug up those lists. I only mug up the list where he's 1. That's all. That I know. Number 2 and all is like so many lists he's number 2. Who cares?
Oh, so top 10 YouTubers from West Mambalam, that kind of list only PGK knows. Okay. Yeah, so Pakistan, guys, tell us. So, what are your thoughts?
I'll start by basically saying what you said was correct, that they actually replaced their entire pace attack. But what you missed, and I think we should start probably here, is that they also brought in a spinner. So they got Abrar back into the team. Because famously, Gillespie said before the first test that we will go for an all-pace attack. They released Abrar. They sent him out into the wild. Go into your forest, do whatever you want to do. We are not even going to even look at you. And of course, quite frankly, there were also these like rumors that there is some discipline problem and all that.
Correct.
I'm like, fine. Okay, first of all, I have my doubts about this. Okay, these 3 people... If you ever take 3 unlikely people running a cricket team, it is Shan Masood, Jason Gillespie and Azhar Mahmood. Okay. I never thought this is like a joke, no? Like 3 people walk into a bar. It's like these 3 people are running this particular team. And all of them were saying different things. Then they said, no, it's all like all pace attack. Then after that, they called it after the first test. It's a comeback. Then Shan Masood is like, if I had control, which actually then he stops and says, I did have control. If I had control, I would have gotten Naseem and Shaheen in 2 different things. So everybody had a lot to say about the bowlers after the test was played and before the test was played. So that's the only thing I want to start off with, because you started with the bowlers. So I'll say that is one diagnosis from Pakistan side.
Yeah, Shan Masood.
Yeah, as a character, man. He really looks like It's like those ICICI bank managers who got pulled out of his job because he had the talent in some sport or something. Every time he gets out, it's like he looks at the people like, I told you I was happy in the bank. Like every time he gets out, he looks like that, Like, why did you pull me here? I didn't want this. And there was a caught behind where everybody is convinced. And while playing the shot, he also looks like he's nicked it. But after that, he acts surprised with the decision that comes out the DRS. I'm like, what kind of a player is he? And much worse as a captain as well.
But as a captain, taking aside the fact that was he the right pick for captain, there just seems to be this kind of panning of Shan Masood just because he speaks English and is well spoken. I'm not sure how much of that is, go for the man rather than the ball, as they say, right? I feel that's a bit overdone. That, in spite of everything, at least English acha baat karta hai is, like it's a very derogatory way of kind of speaking about what he brings to the table.
I fully agree because there are many other reasons to criticize Shan Masood, right? He's the test captain and his average is 28 or something. He makes Michael Atherton not look like, a fish out of water with that test average. And he's been playing for a lot of years now, right? Obviously been in and out of the team.
For almost
11 years actually. 11 years in just 35 tests or something like that. Yeah.
And what makes it worse is fine. You can make fun of his English, all that fine. We can talk about that. But he is blanked out as a test captain. He has lost all 5 test matches he's been captain. He's 5-0 right now. So
5-0. Yeah.
You can talk about that.
And
Yeah,
there
5-0.
are times he does not know what to do, and I think the way the pressure is on him. I mean, of course, I can only watch bare bits here and there, the rest from the highlights, but it does not look like he's able to make decisions to arrest the game at all, even when
Plus,
goal.
Within that, again, shout out to our friend Kaustubh who was speaking about this on the Cricket Info pod. There might be these multiple factions within the team, right? So it kind of becomes hard. Like, he's the, guy holding the lollipop, whereas all the others around him are just splintering into multiple groups. So how much can he really do? Plus noting, all the upheaval at the PCB level where I think they've had to replace 6 chairmen and heads over the last 2-3 years, plus a completely new coaching setup, which again, they'll decide to change willy-nilly and bring in these new mentors, right? So it's a really tough gig, I must say.
Let me just say that they were not just replacing PCB chairman. New PCB chairmen were coming and in their inaugural press conference were abusing the coach. Okay, practically one step short of abusing the coach. Where they're saying this coach and all, I don't think is good enough. This one don't think is good enough. A test is going on, dude. How can you do this? This is going on. We're in day 2. It's over.
I don't know.
Sorry,
Jason Gillespie telling people, Shan, hey, you're going to drop 2 of your best fast bowlers who are going to go in on this pitch on that. I think he has a certain degree of authority on his own. And even it's not like Jason is on a walkie-talkie and saying, hey, do this, don't do that. How dare you change the bowler now? It's not like he has a certain degree of freedom on the pitch. But even that, I think he lacks the ability to be able to marshal his resources and get things done. I mean, it's Bangladesh, man. It's Bangladesh. If Australia is helping you, I understand. It's Bangladesh. Though I understand Mehdi Hasan is playing like some amazing cricket. So did Liton Das. But it was beautiful to watch them crumbling like that.
The series will be known for 2 brilliant quotes, right? The first quote, of course, is Azhar Mahmood, which we spoke about, which is, we didn't misread the pitch, but the pitch misbehaved with us, right? And in the second test, I think the prize goes to Shan Masood because he came up with this quote. The way we have prepared for this series, it's like studying science and preparation for a maths exam. In that context, I am now going to throw the second quiz question of this podcast. I'm going to list out 5 former Pakistan players and I want you guys to tell me what this list is. Okay, so Sarfraz Khan, Waqar Younis, Misbah ul Haq, Saqlain Mushtaq, and I forget the 5th one, Shoaib Malik. Yeah, so this is a list of 5. I want you guys to tell me who these 5 people are and why they are in a list.
They are the 5 mentors for the upcoming domestic tournament in Pakistan.
Oh, yes.
Who apparently earn much more than the players themselves.
Yeah. You know how much they earn? You know how much they earn? They earn close to $18,000 a month.
Yes.
A month.
All right. And
for 3 years.
Okay.
And it's good context to quote the PCB chairman's comment that we are at the stage where we have saved enough money. Now we want to just spend money, be it on mentors or be it on the stadiums. We don't want to save money. Famous last words also said by the Lehman Brothers guys after the 2008 GFC, but
except the Cricket Info, when paraphrasing this quote, I mean, it wasn't a mistake, but when they paraphrased it, they said they are in the mood to spend money and not save it. It wasn't clear whether that it is money or Pakistan cricket. That's the question. So literally $20,000 a month over 3 years. And only the grade A players, which is Babar and 2 or 3 other guys, earn more money than that.
And Shaheen.
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
OKR. There is nothing. There is nothing like, oh, you have to basically like get this, you have to create like this winning team, you have to get win tournament. Nothing. There's no responsibility. They're not coaches, they're not managers, they're nothing. They're just mentors. We are here.
And this is the Champions Cup. Now, after this series against Bangladesh, they next have a series against England, a test series. And Pakistan have done two important things in preparation for this series. One is they have moved one of those test matches away from Pakistan because they're saying our grounds are not ready. Giving away home advantage is a big deal in cricket, but given how Pakistan has struggled to interpret their own pitches, maybe it is a good move to move one of the test matches to Abu Dhabi, where the pitch typically does nothing, and hopefully they might get away with a draw against England. The other thing they're doing is organizing this 5-team Champions Cup, which is a one-day tournament between these two test matches. And this tournament is set to end roughly 5 days or 6 days before the first test against England. While their test batsmen have fared so poorly, they now have no way of preparing for red ball cricket before England come visiting. So it's all just typical Pakistan things, right? So, by the way, the team names of these 5 teams in the Champions Cup are also quite interesting. You have all the wild animals, right? You have, I think, leopards, wolves, tigers, cheetahs, and dolphins. The 5th team is Dolphins. That's the team Sarfaraz is playing for. That's the team I'm interested in.
But Nitin, I think having this one-day series between the two before the England series might be a very cunning ploy for them to out baseball, right?
Yeah.
So you have to give Pakistan credit, cricket credit sometimes, right? So this might be this wild card which might actually work out for them in those morbid pitches in the UAE. Which you, I'm sure, will have something to do with, right? Nitin, you're in Dubai. Abu Dhabi is not too far away. So what are you planning to do about the pitches?
I think so. As long as I don't evaporate in the heat on the way from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, I might just go and catch one day's action at Abu Dhabi. That's all I'm planning to do. But yeah,
we have to talk about Bangladesh as well, because till now we're talking about Pakistan, because it's of course a great victory. But the one thing that struck me in that same podcast that Adi just brought up, Osman Samidan basically starts that podcast off by basically saying, look, Bangladesh, congratulations, well done, but don't get ahead of yourselves. This is Pakistan. Okay, we are known for doing all these kind of things. You may think that you have like unlocked something special. You probably haven't. This is Pakistan. We do this kind of stuff all the time. And then he mentions, and that is when I realized he was right, that the first time that Pakistan basically also did, this is not the first time they did it. This is the second time that they've made us feel like some team is actually playing very well. The first time they did it was when they fucking lost to England. When England came 2 years back, this was their first away series after baseball. They came and wiped out Pakistan 3-0. And that is when all of us were like, so baseball is here. It can do magic in like subcontinent conditions. All of us like got, excited by it. And then you realize now, no, none of this has happened. England is now anyway languishing at the bottom of the table in WTC. And it was just Pakistan doing Pakistan thing. So who knows? We'll see Bangladesh here also as well in another like few months.
Not quite languishing PGK, but as of now, Bangladesh has edged ahead of England in the WTC. So the number 4 and England is number 5. But I feel that might change after this Oval Test match against Sri Lanka, unfortunately.
Bangladesh can beat New Zealand in India, right? They have a good chance, right?
Bangladesh are not playing New Zealand in India, by the way.
Wow.
Aren't they playing?
Afghanistan
is playing New Zealand.
Oh,
wrong side of Akhand Bharat. Wrong side. It's the other side of Akhand Bharat.
So just to be clear, Pakistan are preparing for a home test by moving the series outside Pakistan and by playing one-day cricket at home. New Zealand are preparing for a tour of Sri Lanka by coming to India and playing Afghanistan in Greater Noida. So make of that what you will. And then they will go to Sri Lanka and come back to India to play test matches in India. But see, this whole Champions Cup thing, right? PGK mentioned there is no OKR. I mean, he's into product management and everything. So this week that is the theme. He said no OKRs and all. I actually think there are some OKRs, but they are not very properly explained, right? I'm sure one of the OKRs for Pakistan in the next 12 months is host a successful Champions Trophy and win the Champions Trophy. Now, it is unclear if the Champions Trophy will happen in Pakistan. Very, very unclear if Pakistan will win the Champions Trophy. So what are they doing? They're hosting a Champions Cup instead in Pakistan, and only having 5 different Pakistani teams participating in the Champions Cup. So Pakistan will end up winning that Champions Cup. So this is one way to meet your OKRs, right? You change it around a little bit. But maybe that's what is happening.
Pakistan's version of in their multiverse, this is what's happening. See, anyway, there are people in our group, especially there's one person named Mohan Krishnamurthy who believes that in the future, all cricket is going to be Indian teams playing against each other. Which is what is happening right now. Even Germany is that, even US is that, we're all going to have Indian teams of various colors playing. Pakistan is doing the same thing. Like, we're all going to have Pakistan teams playing.
Enough about Pakistan then. Let's segue into our second topic, which again is about multiple teams in the same country playing a tournament. We are talking about the Duleep Trophy now, which is underway. One of the games has ended with, India C defeating India D at Anantapur, right, with Akshar Patel, Harshit Rana and Baba Aprijit doing well. And there's this young off spinner called Manav Sutar who got 7 wickets. And it was a low scoring game. There were a few runs for Gaikwad and Sai Sudarshan and Shreyas Iyer and Padikkal, but generally the batsmen struggled in that game. The other game, India B have defeated India A in the other game. This game should have ended earlier today, but KL Rahul put up some sort of resistance and, with a slow half century, which kind of delayed the inevitable. But the hero of this match was Mushir Khan, the brother of Sarfaraz Khan, who scored a majestic 181 to rescue his team from 90 odd for 7. And in the end, those runs made all the difference. They ended up winning by 70 runs in the end. And Akash Deep, who played for India against England in the Test series, also bowled really well, got 9 wickets. Have you guys been following this series, guys?
Sorry, I'll just finish and say that Akash Deep has not just bowled really well. Akash Deep also put up a great resistance along with KL Rahul. He's 43 or 42 balls, which is with 3 fours and 4 sixes. So yeah, he baseballed his way until he got run out by Mushir Khan. India A folded for 198, chasing 275. So who knows? Maybe another 20-30 runs. Who knows?
Yeah,
So what's the deal with this? What's the deal with the low scores? Sorry, Murali, you finish.
No, I have a question. In a Bangladesh-Pakistan series, to speak about 29 minutes, we shat on Pakistan and said, okay, topic is done. The guys came from nowhere, achieved something historical. Bangladesh player didn't get a single word also. Now, I understand we hate
No, even I was also going to say that.
I was like,
sorry, my bad.
Completely like...
But then I remembered it's Bangladesh and I'm like, it's fine. It's okay.
No. We have to talk about Bangladesh. Come on.
Because I even connect something PGK said, Ram. The England didn't do anything great. At the end of the day, it's Pakistan. They lose it. Then I'm like, but this is Bangladesh. They can beat Pakistan, which is unimaginable.
Comprehensively. 10 wickets and 6 wickets.
There is a story, a narrative to this, right? The reason why this is so good, even for the Pakistani fans, for some reason, is one was 558 in the first innings, staring down a massive target in a pitch that they didn't think they could do much in, out of nowhere, coming back and pulling the rug from under Pakistan's feet. This was a whole other story. At 26 for 6, the commentary from Pakistan was like, that was an anomaly. This is the real Pakistan. You watch now. We have come with a new fast bowling attack, and the fast bowling attack and some of the balls were really good.
The ball was swinging big time,
and it was nipping and seaming, especially for Khurram, especially. And the way he was able to make it come into the left-handers was really nice, because those two left-handers are good left-handers in the top order, and they were very good players. And that innings from Liton Das, if you see, there was a lot of constant measured aggression. It was not quick shots. It was constant. It was measured, but he never let the bowler sit. To a point where Abrar occasionally would throw one, as a good ball. He'll still find a way to play it out and then get the next ball for a 4. And I thought there was a lot to be celebrated. So
No, they were brilliant. In fact, even in the first test, right, Mushfiqur Rahim has like incredible stats in every country in Asia, right? Liton Das, of course, very he has been marked out by the great spotter of talent R. Ashwin as one of the greatest young upcoming batsmen in the world. So no surprise there, as PGK will point out to us.
Along with Hridoy.
Tawheed Hridoy.
Tawheed Hridoy. Yeah.
And also to kind of back it up with a win, because one thing I've noted with the teams which don't play as much test cricket against the bigger nations is that they might do well in one test, but then the wheels come off subsequently, right? But the fact that they were able to sustain it back to back in 2 test matches with really solid performances without getting their foot off the pedal is quite impressive. In fact, I feel if it was a 3-test series, they would have at least drawn or won the next test too, because I don't think Pakistan had any answers to their pace bowling attack, or how to get 20 wickets.
But the same story happened, I think, at Mount Maunganui as well. I think it's the same Liton Das, the same Mehdi Hasan Miraz, with the same, I can't remember the total on New Zealand. Again, these two would be like, no, you think it's done. I don't think it's done. And then they turned the entire game on, and then I think they won. That was a historic win.
Was that Ibadat or Shoriful who took Fifer?
Ibadat Hussain.
Ibadat. In fact, there was a telling statistic again during this Pindi Test series. Okay, again, I can make it a quiz question actually. So, current WTC cycle, India is number 1. Pakistan is last on the list. So, what's the list I'm talking about? Sorry, it's a bit random, but just because of what we've been discussing about Bangladesh and their
in the
lower
current
order
WTC
batting.
test cycle.
In the current
Number of
WTC.
test matches played in India.
Percentage of home test wins.
No.
Hey,
good
what
guess,
I said
no.
is correct. What I said is correct, right?
Hey,
Number
it
of
could be
test
that.
matches played in India.
This is not the answer to my question. This is not that question.
He's
Let me
asking
see
this
if I
in the
can-
context of Bangladesh, so let's keep that in mind, right?
Correct.
So,
In the
most
context of Bangladesh.
runs by 6, 7, 8 batsmen.
Correct. Basically, the highest runs conceded by a bowling team for numbers 6 to
Oh.
11. So India is the least in terms of
Okay, got it.
and Pakistan is the most, which means that
okay.
they clearly have a problem, at least in this cycle, in terms of getting out a tail, not taking away from the fantastic batting by Miraj and Mushfiqur.
I want to point out, I first gave a correct answer which he said is wrong, and then I gave a wrong answer which he said is correct. Because I said most runs by number
Sums
6,
up the
7, 8,
point.
and he said correct.
I understood the substance of what you were saying.
My substance was not this, Ra.
He also gave up expectation that we'll answer it correctly. So it's like that kind of his
நீங்க
own
என்ன
idea.
சொன்னாலும் correct தான்.
Yeah.
You did not misread the question. I misinterpreted your answer.
Okay, sorry. PGK, you were going to say something when I
No,
saw
I was just only going to say that it's just a very telling observation that I can't remember the last time that some other team has outbowled Pakistan's pace bowlers. Like, when is the last time this happened? Well, maybe it's happening more frequently now, but I can't
Every
remember
test
the
match,
last
Ra.
time. No, in Pakistan. Like, in Pakistan, you
Cummins
always...
and Co came and outbowled them.
Hey, but
You're
that
right.
was
Maybe
the
it's
15th day of a 15-day test match. So that will disregard. 14 days they were pretty much at par on a flat
Yeah, nothing
road.
happened for 14 days on those pitches.
Yeah, I think also
Yeah.
Bangladesh's most experience is now lower down in the order. That wasn't the case earlier. I think
Yeah.
earlier they had experienced people up there. Right now, if you see, I think they're 6, 7, 8 or 5, 6, 7, like really, really rock. So
40
I'm
to
not-
50 tests.
40 to 50 tests each of them. So
Also that-
I'm not surprised.
yeah. Also that fast bowler, I forget his name, who did really well.
Yeah, the Bangladesh.
Also,
Naveed,
the tall
Naveed.
guy.
Nahid Rana, right?
Nahid Rana, correct.
Nahid
Nahid Rana on the last day was a handful, and he could have had more wickets
So-
than he did also.
So just casting our minds to the India series, which starts in a week's time, what are you guys' thoughts on the same Bangladesh bowling attack versus India's bowling attack? You reckon pitches different, better
Where
batting?
are they playing? Where are they
Chennai,
Oh.
first test in Chennai.
playing? Chennai, nothing so bad.
And I think, no, are they playing in Bangalore? No, New Zealand is playing in Bangalore, I think.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Where else are they playing?
Mid-October. So where are the
Yeah.
pitches? It's like how we say, who are the bowlers? In India, the question is, where are the pitches? Okay, where are you playing? Let's talk
In
about that.
Pakistan, the question is, where are the pitches? The answer is outside Pakistan. So,
Chennai, Thursday, September 19th, first test. Second test, Kanpur. Two tests. Yeah. First,
Chennai, nothing is going to happen.
Kanpur will.
Don't know.
Kanpur
When is
was
the
a
last test?
low scoring game against New Zealand. The 9th wicket
Correct.
partnership. denied India win. That was the last one.
Joss Patel series.
And then New Zealand, when they tour India, it's Bangalore, Pune, and Bombay.
Nice. Good venues.
I don't see Bangladesh beating India or coming close to beating India in either Chennai or Kanpur. I don't see it happening.
Good.
But
Nobody has beaten India in India
yeah,
for
exactly.
like so many
Exactly.
years.
Not
Only
beating, I think even
Bangladesh.
drawing a series, some accident. Okay, nothing. I don't think it will happen. No chance.
It could be interesting though. India is struggling against spin and Mahedi and Shakib. Yeah, it'll be an interesting series to watch.
In fact, on
Let's
that, Ryan Tendoshate had the assistant, I don't know what coach he is. I get lost with all the different assistants we have in the Indian coaching setup. So he had this chat with a South African journalist where his theory is that, again, this might have been publicized previously. He said that because India has been so focused on winning in England, Australia, and South Africa, they've just kind of taken the eye off playing spin bowling. I just find that to be a bit of a weak argument, right? Just because, okay, I mean, muscle memory is a thing and these guys have grown up playing spins so much. Is that really something which holds water? In the sense that because they've been so focused on winning overseas, they've forgotten how to play spin bowling?
See, I have one theory, which, I mean, you can debunk. But if you go back even 10 years, right, your top international players used to play quite a bit of domestic cricket, right? They used to have the opportunity. Even like Tendulkar, for instance, that's not 10 years, it's more than that. But your Tendulkar, Lakshman, Ganguly, Dravid and all used to play, or Duleep, Irani, Ranji also now and then. this generation, Kohli and Rohit, I don't think are playing, right? Even now in the Duleep Trophy, they have been rested, along with other senior players like Sanju Samson and Ashwin, who are not playing in this series. Yeah, so then where do you play against quality spin? Because you're not going to face that in the IPL. You're not going to face that in India. You're not going to face that outside India or in limited overs cricket. So, yeah, muscle memory can take you quite far, but then when you suddenly are playing on
over a period of time, those errors kind of build up, and then you're pretty much found wanting.
I think that's one of the motivation. Sorry, I just want to say I think that's one of the motivation for them doing this Duleep Trophy and pushing all of these guys to play. I think there is something there where they have multiple goals to this thing, but one of them is definitely this, which is that.
But in saying that, they kind of had these spicy pitches where pace bowlers have taken a lot of wickets. Yeah. So I'm not.
Well, Manav Sutar got wickets in Anandpur, and he bowls spin.
36 years of age, I don't think Sachin and Dravid will play.
Maybe not 10 years back. I'm saying I'm actually mostly speaking about pre-IPL era. Not,
because these two are 36 odd years each. I don't think they are looking to play at this level. I agree that most of the others are able to get a fair amount of spin, but I don't think it's just being able to play spin. I think that's one. There is some amount of spin-oriented preparation you need to want to do to be able to tackle these kind of bowlers as well. That comes, I mean, Shane Warne also is coming from, it's not like Sachin played just bowlers. He was like, how does Shane Warne bowl? What do I have to do to be able to play that kind of bowling? Let me prepare for that. I think that's what a Kohli or Rohit should be doing. What does Mehdi Hasan Miraz do? What does Shakib Al Hasan do that I have to practice for? That will come as muscle memory when you are in a mid-match pressure. I don't think it's just, let's play some spin, some Sutar will bowl, some Sattar will bowl, we'll play. That won't be good enough when actual bowlers come.
So Murali, are you indirectly advocating for us to have a player come coach, aka Dave Houghton or Sarfraz, and we know one player come coach who's more than willing to put his hand up to do the job for Team India, and I would like PGK to step into the debate now, a candidate who comes to mind.
Again, this is like this drive-by shooting for no reason whatsoever. I didn't say a word. Okay. I think it'll be fun. I think it's okay. I don't think the spin. I agree that the spin thing is slightly overstated. I feel it's a little overstated, especially because you see Sarfaraz and you see all of these guys playing, and in fact, they crushed the spinners. England spinners, they dominated India in like one test. After that, India figured it out. And they were like, we'll crush you. They couldn't do anything with India's spinners. India's spinners were getting wickets until like fifth test, last day, sun is setting. And they're like peacefully like, still Ollie Pope has no idea what's going on. So I don't think that's such a big thing.
No, but England did not have quality spin bowlers in that series. Bangladesh are coming with quality spinners. I don't know. Like we said, Bangladesh have a fairly experienced middle order who are good at playing spin. It could be fun. Let's see how it pans out.
Please, it will be nice to look forward to a Bangladesh Test series at home, which you would never have said, a few years ago with them coming home. This actually will hopefully be a good series if they continue their form from Pakistan, albeit against a much tougher opposition at home.
I feel like if they are able to challenge India is, I think, a great team now, just period. And traveling also pretty strong. And if you remember, one of the harder challenges we've had traveling away and playing is Bangladesh. It's right up there as one of the harder challenges we've had. It was a very competitive game. PDK is not an expert because he thinks of warm memories and he's like, what a beautiful time.
No, it was a very competitive series.
And in that, we were certain at one point, we had made our jokes, we had put in our draft, we were like, this is going down the drain. And Virat Kohli and Mehdi was like, it was poetic. It was like, he'll come and he's going to get out, and it was beautiful to watch. And then I think now if they are coming with this level of preparation skill and they have bowled well across conditions, funnily they field well. Their catches are outstanding. I'm like, who are these players? And there is a very nice young, I don't care how you bowl, I want to keep it going, to left-hander openers who are really breezy. So which means they're quickly knocking 40, 50 off the top. And then, there are good players coming below. That if 50 to 80 runs come off the top order, the middle can score 200 plus. And then that's always a good solid 250 plus score every time. I think it might be nice to see. And I think we can set it up well.
India have also prepared very well for this series, right? First is all the fringe players and, the middle-aged players have all done a little bit in Duleep Trophy. The experienced players have prepared in their own way. Virat Kohli has been spotted in London. Rohit Sharma went to a gym to inaugurate a gym. Ravindra Jadeja has joined the BJP. And Ravichandran Ashwin has been putting out random tweets about DRS and stuff. And I want to talk about that fourth one, PGK, because Ashwin made a point to put screen grabs of Ricky Bui getting dismissed by Manav Sutar, LBW. And this, of course, went up to DRS. I think he was originally given not out, and then it was reviewed. and on DRS he was given out. And the replay, the screen grabs and the picture suggested that he was playing with his bat behind the pad. And Ashwin came up with this whole thing, players like Ricky Bui have played, if they play without DRS in domestic cricket, then they come with bad habits to the highest level where they will get found out because you cannot play with your bat hidden behind your pad. What do you have to say, PGK? You said drive-by shooting. Here you have a senior player randomly saying...
I'm finding out about this just now. Okay, and already you have made me his press office. Okay, what reactions do you have? Explain. I'm hearing about it now.
PGK is just this close to telling what a famous Australian politician once said. I haven't heard or read what he said, but I completely agree with what he said.
Can we talk about Rohit Sharma in the gym, which is objectively much funnier than this?
Obfuscation. Okay, let's talk about Rohit Sharma and the gym. Our readers might not know this. PGK is also the gym expert of the Bits and Pieces group because he gyms alongside Venkatesh Prasad and Karun Nair, Vijay Kumar Vaishak and other international and IPL cricketers in Indranagar's most famous gym. Yeah.
No, wait, can someone give me the Rohit Sharma and the gym story? I really don't know. Genuinely. I'm like, but I want to talk about it. I'm like, let's talk.
Wankhede decided that the Mumbaikars are not fit enough. They realized that this is an important movement where we want everybody to be fit. So we want that icon, that person, when you look at him 1 second, you instantly know the beacon of fitness, that ripped, sculpted person who we will show to the world to say, after Arnold, in the world of cricket, we have this man. And you have that man in your head. That's exactly who they thought of to inaugurate it with a beautiful vada pav stall, Rohit Sharma.
And Murali, just to confirm, when you said sculpted, not to be confused with the sculpture of Steve Smith in the Wankhede Stadium.
So that's a whole other level of sculpting. Yeah. This is about body sculpting, body architecture.
Yeah. So that is the gym story, PGK. What do you have to say?
I mean, come on, guys. Rohit Sharma is going and inaugurating gyms. Oh, but by the way, for Ashwin, I didn't know about this DRS thing, but I saw one video where he was doing. I didn't watch the whole video, but I saw the thumbnail on my YouTube, which is Ashwin's comments on the Fab Four. And I saw Ashwin's face, I saw P-Dog's face, and I saw the Fab Four, which is a Steve Smith, Joe Root, and I'm like, this video, I am not clicking. I cannot do this. There is a point at which even I break, and that point is Ashwin's opinion on Fab Four with P-Dog, and I'm like, okay, this is where I think I'll save for later. I'll watch it some other time, and I'll see.
I have not watched the video either, but I can imagine that Ashwin finishes off by saying, but more than the P4, I think that person who plays the spin really well is Liton Das, who gets onto the front foot and goes to the back foot. Yes, the back press.
Here is the new Fab Four. Yeah.
Sorry, da.
Yeah, please, let's go to the Duleep Trophy. Why are we talking about Ashwin?
Duleep Trophy, have you got more answers to questions on, say, middle order, fourth seamer, etc.? Or do we reckon we just wait for the trophy to finish before we decide those gaps in the test?
What gap? Order? What gap is there in the test?
Are we kind of Sarfraz, Shreyas, that is kind of confirmed, or do we any question marks on Shreyas being the?
So it's not a gap. You're saying there are too many options.
Too many options, yeah. Like which is usually the problem with Indian cricket. Like yeah. That. So have we kind of solved for it, or still to be decided?
I don't know all that. My most interesting video to come out of Duleep Trophy was India A team was in a huddle, right? I think it's Shubman Gill, KL Rahul, all like together. A very intense video of them talking. They zoom out. Rishabh Pant is in the huddle. He's not a part of that team. He's listening.
India A huddle this morning. Who's the gentleman in the blue t-shirt? Rishabh Pant, India B. He knows the plans.
So, and the others also don't notice. They're like,
nobody noticed. And then they're like shaking hands like, hey, what are you doing here? Isn't he the captain of the other team?
Yes.
He's the captain also.
By the way, Adi, to answer your question, I mean, have we learned anything from Duleep Trophy? To answer your question, let me read out the top run scorers in Duleep Trophy so far. Caveat, everyone has played only one match. Number 1, Mushir Khan with 181 runs. Number 2, Akshar Patel, 114 runs. Number 3, KL Rahul. Number 4, Baba Indrajit. Number 5 is Navdeep Saini. This is where we are at this point. So I think we haven't
but it's one game
at this point. I know.
It's one game, guys, and they were low-scoring games, except for Mushir, who managed to somehow go from 92 for 7 and hit 181 runs. Nobody else got runs, right? But lots of people got 40s and 50s. Like Rishabh Pant got a quick 50, Shreyas Iyer got a 50 or 40 balls, and Padikkal got a few runs. Gaikwad got a few runs. So there's not much to say. Akshar Patel played a very good hand, of course.
Yeah, and Akshar
I think
Patel is
80
not
odd.
somebody to laugh over. Right? He's number 2 or 3 in the world's top all-rounders right now. I think he's like the first few to come into the India team list also.
PGK
he
is like, you
bats
know who's
fantastically
number
with
1
the
in that
tail.
list.
That's why I carefully said 3 or 4. I didn't want to put him on number 1, even if his numbers are better. But still, I'm
Mehdi
saying
Miraj is number 1, Nitin, in that
yeah,
list.
yeah, Mehdi Miraj will be right
Trick
up there.
answer.
Yeah.
Talking about Indian domestic cricket, Rahul Dravid has taken over as the team coach of Rajasthan Royals, and he is now working very closely with Kumar Sangakkara to decide on their auction retentions for the next year. So the big
Wait, one
question
second.
is,
I'm very confused now. So if Dravid has taken over, Sangakkara is still there or he's leaving?
Sangakkara's team director. I don't know if he's leaving.
Like,
That is
Mahela.
honest.
You're promoted upwards. I like it. You gone from
Is
CEO
that-
to executive chairman. I like it. Well done.
So you're saying director is above coach, is it?
No, I'm saying this is what happens in companies, right? When you basically want to replace someone, you basically push them upwards because beyond a certain level up, you are, atmosphere. You are like,
And
editor at
also-
large, as they say.
He was always the team director. I don't think Sangakkara was the coach earlier. He
Oh,
was
then
the team
who
director.
was the coach that he replaced? Must be
That
there
I
must have
don't
been a
know.
coach.
There was somebody. I think I don't know who. I
Because
moved
like
from that
Mumbai
role.
Indians made Mahela like their team director, and he's in charge of all their properties around the world, MI, New York, whatever they
Correct.
have in the CSA and all of that. So I assume
Yeah.
that Sangha is basically going to do that. Rajasthan,
Yeah,
Bal
this
Royals
is
and all of
this
that.
is global SVP. This is
SVP,
classic
yeah.
global SVP.
So apparently
let's
Dravid
see.
was earlier not the coach of Rajasthan. He was the mentor of Rajasthan when he threw his cap and all of that. If you remember the viral video.
Yeah, he
from-
was never the coach. That's what I'm saying. You're right. But something is going
But he
on.
was also the captain at one stage. Yeah.
What are the demarcations between these various roles? How does one know what is one allowed to say? What is one not allowed to say under these specific roles? Like
PCB will explain this correctly to you because they have delineated clearly what mentor is, what director is.
If you
what coach is.
really think about it, now if the Rajasthan team has Sangakkara and Dravid and Ashwin, that's practically a quiz team. They can go take part in Sarang. Okay, the three of them. They probably win
Here
something
also
also.
Sanju Samson ignored.
No, I'm talking about the three people. Imagine the discussions. Their English, they'll do crosswords
Abba,
together.
yo.
They can take part in the quiz. Okay, it's a lit
Rebus.
team, dude. This is a lit team. Come on. Okay.
I agree.
Can you think of
I
three
agree.
better people in a lit team?
so, Dravid won the T20 World Cup, so he's now an outstanding T20 coach. So straight back into T20 coaching, is it? That's the turn of events.
Yeah, just like Jaisha won
it's-
World Cup and straight away gone to global role. No, same way.
Oh,
Hey, Murli, he also has bills to pay, mortgages to settle. I mean, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
That is the thing. He was left coach and now he's like, okay, now what should I do? He's like, IPL is always there. I was like, okay, sir, let's do it.
I'm sure you guys read or heard about all the Himanish Ganju content, Paras Mambre. They've all, now after India won the World Cup, lots of people have spoken about how they prepared for T20 and everything, right? And broad consensus is that Rahul Dravid is very, very forward thinking when it comes to T20 and thinks very deeply about this format. Not the way you might have imagined someone like Dravid to have been. So, yeah, maybe there is
And
truth to
on
the
coaching
assertion
staff,
that he's a great.
And on coaching staff appointments, Vikram Rathod is the batting coach for New Zealand for their upcoming
really?
series against Bangladesh, against Afghanistan. Yeah, Rangana Herat is the spin bowling coach, and Vikram Rathod is the batting coach.
Wait a sec, for that
Yes,
one test match, they have appointed 2 people.
Correct.
think it's like
I
a
think he might
contract
continue
for-
on for the Sri Lanka series also, but I only saw the article in the context of that Afghanistan New Zealand game.
Amazing, amazing. So that New Zealand do not turn up for the test match with a greater sense of no idea. Because the test match is at Greater Noida. So
Yeah, I think
That's
they've
a
said
very convoluted
Herat will
joke.
be there. Herat will be there for the 3 tests, one against Afghanistan and Sri Lanka, but Rathod will only be with the squad for the Afghanistan test.
interesting. But the biggest coaching appointment of the week is Brendan McCullum has taken over as coach in all formats for England. So now they can, since baseball has proven its unimpeachable superiority over or other forms of play, it is now going to be replicated across other formats of cricket for England as well. Thoughts on Baz taking over, guys, in T20 and one-dayers. How do you Baz ball in T20 cricket?
I want to know. There should be three, right? There's baseball, baseball, bazooka ball. Like that. There should be three, right? How here itself is hitting at 8 runs and over. What is he going to do in ODI? What is he going to do in T20? How is this going to be promoted?
Totally.
I want to know.
So Brendan McCullum has basically said that, look, Brendan McCullum always doesn't talk about scoring rates and all that. He just says, I'm going to create, it's very Kamala Harris kind. I'm going to create joy. I'm going to create like freedom and all of you like basically like figure it out. So that's what now apparently his thing is with Josh Butler. So he's like, Josh Butler is unhappy. I am going to make Josh Butler happy. So I am going to give him the freedom and the thinking and the open up your mind and go and play this thing. And I think that will be good for England cricket. Fine. Okay. We'll see, I guess.
See, one thing was England Cricket Board were one of the first boards which basically said red ball and white ball are two separate formats. You need to have specialist coaches. So this reminds me of my time when I used to do a lot of work in M&A, that a good M&A advisor will tell the company, what you do is you hive off all these different divisions because they are not core to your operations, right? Then after 6 years, you go back to the same business and say, you know what? You're not getting those benefits of being a conglomerate. You should again get those businesses back at a higher valuation. And you'll be the advisor on both sides of the transaction because you'll get a clip of the ticket. So ECB has done the same thing now. So originally they said we'll have separate coaches. Now we'll say, no. We'll have all of them together because it will be organic, holistic. There'll be a continuation of our FAF approach on how we play cricket, etc. So that's effectively what has happened. ECB has paid McKinsey or a good consultant to basically tell them to get all the formats under one coach.
The difference between PCB and DCB is PCB did this without having to pay a consultant. They themselves decided. Now they are in the hive off format. They have hived off into 5 teams, 5 mentors and all. Then they will bring it all back. But you see the Rawalpindi pitch from 3 years back, it is still the same pitch that it is now, that they're now renovating that pitch also. Adi's point is right. Nothing will change.
What are England's fortunes like in white ball since 2019? Have they done anything of note?
No, they've done everything of very great anti-note, if anything, right? With ignominious defeats in T and in one day. They won that World Cup. They won the T20 World Cup in Australia. Right. After that,
they won the Australia. Correct.
Okay.
And they did very well in the Dubai one also, except I think they lost in the semis. Yeah, they had one bad game. But that is a toss jeeto, match jeeto World Cup. So can't read much into that one.
I call that particular T20 World Cup the Venkatesh Iyer World Cup.
Venkatesh Iyer World Cup.
They drafted him into the team immediately after the IPL. They're like, oh my God, generational talent. Let's get him in. Bring him to Dubai.
And MS Dhoni as a mentor for that World Cup.
MS Dhoni was mentor, correct.
Everyone remembers that World Cup differently, right? I remember that World Cup as, 2 days before the World Cup, Kohli announced, I'm not the captain after this World Cup. And I think from there, that World Cup was done. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. For everyone else, it is the forgotten World Cup because it just went away. But
it's a very forgettable World Cup also.
Yeah.
Yeah, very tossed.
Australia.
Adi, you're talking about England, Sri Lanka?
Yeah. So England, Sri Lanka, I mean, after the Dhananjaya Kamindu partnership, they pretty much crumbled at 248 for 8, trailing by 77 runs. So looks like because of the whole weather situation, they might be able to eke out a draw, but at this stage, it looks like 3-0 to England, unfortunately.
BNP Jinx.
And they
I have a very important question about the Oval Test match, guys, which is, why are they playing it? Why didn't they stop with 2 test matches? Why are they playing a 3rd test match in this series?
Don't they have to kind of have tests in all? But isn't Oval always meant to be the final test of the summer and hence it's happening? That's the general
then host the 2nd test there and go home if that is your... Why are you playing 3 tests against Sri Lanka? That is my question. Who wants this?
I think it was a trade-off, right? Can we manage to salvage something of the summer with 3 tests versus West Indies or 3 versus Sri Lanka? It was not like they were left with much options. So we had to do 2 with one of them. We said we'll go 2 for West Indies and 3 for Sri Lanka. That's unfortunately what has happened. Whereas next summer it will be 5 against India. So I think they're already laughing their way to the bank.
I don't think it was so one-sided, right? I mean, yes, England won convincingly, but it felt like there were periods where Sri Lanka felt oddly competitive.
This is like your buffering, Murali. When you're, sometimes when you're watching a program, you'll see it buffering. You'll say, yeah, now it's going to work. Yeah, I got it. And again it goes. Again it comes back and again it goes. So, right? There were glimmers. There were glimmers at various points in the first and second test, but nothing to sustain, which is the problem because they don't play much test cricket, 0 practice before the actual test series. England had come off 2 wins against West Indies and obviously they're playing at home. So yeah, the fact that they've not been belted compared to what West Indies went through is probably a win itself.
Yeah, I agree. I like this Josh Hull though. I think he looks pretty nice.
There's been this big debate in Australia about how Flintoff's speech it's quite ironic because I'm not sure if
What is Flintoff's speech?
yeah, so Flintoff
What did
gave the
He
cap
handed
to
the
Josh
cap,
Hull
yeah.
and he spoke very
Ah.
highly about the cap and what it means and all of that. So many Australian commentators are basically saying you guys took the mickey out of us when Steve Waugh insisted that, when we go to Wimbledon, we'll wear the baggy green. And the whole
Correct.
baggy green being a very hallowed thing and all of that. So England commentators at that point took the piss saying, you guys take the cap too seriously and all of that. And then yesterday, if you listen to Flintoff's speech, he's pretty much speaking about, tradition and all of that. They were like, yeah, guys, come on, what's happened to you now? You've gone the other way and you're kind of, trying to bestow so much of this glory on just a test cap.
Oh.
So yeah, that's been the...
Shocking
that's been
to
the-
see English hypocrisy. Shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just...
Where have we seen it before?
Cap mukyam bigly. Yeah.
Any other cricket? England, Scotland? Oh, sorry, Scotland, Australia?
Okay, now I'm out, guys. Now I'm totally out. You got to talk about it.
Australia,
I have no idea.
Scotland. The first ever Australian wicketkeeper to score a T20 century is English. I love that headline. Josh English, whatever.
By the way, have any of you seen the actual coverage of how the cricket looks? The
No.
camera angles are like 92 Doordarshan. One on
Oh.
long on, one on other side. That's it, right? It's like one of those village green outfields. It's
Oh.
pretty much standing room only.
Where
People
are
drinking
they
the
playing?
beer, and beyond that you have a
Oh, they're
Aberdeen.
playing in
Chips and-
Edinburgh. How nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Edinburgh.
chips and
This
burgers.
is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, guys.
Oh, exactly.
Get
I
your
mean,
tickets
you
in.
can, you
last
can,
3 shows.
You can cut this from the pod, but my wife was in Edinburgh. She was in Edinburgh for the last 1 week.
Did she watch the game?
Yeah. No, of course not. She's not the cricket
PGK
person,
himself
yes.
didn't know the game was happening.
Ultra.
His wife. is
Yeah,
not there
I'm
to
also
watch
looking
it.
now. I'm like, damn, it was in Edinburgh.
But they thrashed them. But that being said, this is one of those fan code installed ones, the same that EC and the European Cricket Network uses. It will just be there on both ends as a standing thing. Nothing else can be seen. You will only see that.
It's like a CCTV camera, basically, is what
It's
you're
like
saying.
close cricket television. Nobody else can watch it. Very close area cricket is happening. So
Imagine somebody in Scotland went into a Sainsbury near the ground or something. They forgot their wallet, left their laptop, and they're like, oh, how do I find my laptop? They have CCTV camera in the cricket ground. Okay, sir. ICC, can you please run that video? I want to see if my suitcase. Josh English. No. I want to see inside that shop. What is
I
This
was
feed
happening?
is there
half
only for bookies. You know that this feed is there only for bookies. There's no other reason. I'm not saying
I was
necessarily
half
illegal
expecting-
bookies. I'm just saying bookies.
I was half expecting a
Euros.
message to come, camera battery low, please recharge for those 2 cameras on either ends because it was a CCTV camera.
Yeah. So what happened? Australia won 2 matches, right? Or did they play 3?
Yeah.
They
The
scored the
third one is
highest-
happening tonight.
Another. Again, I have the same question, guys. Why are they playing a third match? But okay.
No, actually, they won the third match. Sorry. They won the third match.
Oh,
Sorry.
they got long-term Schengen visa, decided to play one extra game. I think that's a valid reason.
They scored the
Scotland is
highest
not
T20
Schengen, no?
score, It's a good thing only. Something crazy happened.
What did they score?
Highest ever score in a power play. T20.
Oh, Travis
Ever.
said.
Of course,
Maybe
of
113 or
course.
something like that. Like they tulped those nameless who are the bowlers? That happened.
The Edinburgh Fringe for the bowlers. Excellent. Good for Australia.
Do you guys think that Rohit and Kohli will play India Tour of England next year for sure?
Subject to WTC final results, I think.
They'll play. They'll play regardless of WTC. They'll play. Test matches. They'll play another 2 years easy.
One day
Not that.
definite Champions Trophy last, right?
I don't know.
The format
If they
itself, I think,
win-
will die after that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think beyond, I don't know, maybe next ODI is 27, right? 7.
South
That's
Africa.
3 years away.
If India win the
I think-
Champions Trophy, I think they'll stop playing one days. They as in Rohit and Kohli for sure. Everyone else, I don't know. That depends.
Okay, second Nimbus. Ashwin will go for the England tour.
I think Ashwin is, I don't know, beyond WTC, I'm not sure. I think WTC
Actually,
finally will go for
actually
sure.
Murali won't because he has to defend Dindigul Dragons for next year's championship.
Correct. That's very important.
He has to come back, returning champion. So, precedence.
By the way, I just want,
He's sitting in the pavilion only. He can do the auction from there. That he can still do.
No,
He's
busy.
going to be outside only. But just check. Anyway, go on.
No, BC in our group already called out, right? Ashwin is going for the number 3 slot in that important, picking order. Crazy Johns, Mufa Bro, and then Ashwin now is the biggest content creator on social media around cricket. he's going for that. So yeah.
Too much. No, I was just going to say that because you told me about Scotland and Australia, I went back and checked. So that game, so essentially Scotland scored 154 runs in like 20 overs, and Australia smashed 156 runs in 9.4 overs. 80 out of 20, 80 runs on 25 balls, Travis said. I'm telling you, when this match was over, like KL Rahul wakes up in a cold sweat. The Lucknow, this thing, team director is like calling and abusing KL Rahul. KL Rahul, like, why are
Sanjeev
you abusing
Goenka.
me? Sanjeev Goenka is calling him. Like, why are
Sending him
you
links.
calling me? Like, I saw it again.
On that note of repetitive stress involved when we watch Travis Head scoring runs and thinking about Pakistan's wonderful or not so wonderful couple of months in cricket, it is time to wind up episode 139 of Bits and Pieces, where we've spoken about Bangladesh, Duleep Trophy, Edinburgh Fringe, and baseball, Rahul Dravid, and a bunch of other things. So thanks for listening to this podcast. Please recommend it to your friends, and we hope to see you again in a week's time with another episode. Until then, this is Nitin, Adi, Murali, and PGK saying bye. Say bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.